If you are thinking of taking a trip around the Inner Hebrides of Western Scotland, then why not join us while we stay in the sleepy fishing village of Craobh Haven on Loch Shuna and island hop our way around some of the best that Scotland has to offer. Ourselves a week's stay in the Scandinavian log cabin at Loch Shuna Lodges. The Loch Shuna Lodges consisted of 3 lodges and the house of the good people who looked after them. Each lodge came with its own hot tub, and in the case of our lodge, its own sauna. They all boast traditional building techniques but house modern conveniences which give its guests a comfortable and peaceful stay. The lodge was spotless when we first entered. It was evident that a lot of love went into the looking after of these magnificent buildings. The showers were hot and powerful, the beds were comfy, and the kitchen was well stocked with all the tools needed to make a 3-course meal. Although it came with a TV, trying to watch it proved difficult due to the remote area. However, there was a DVD player on standby and a pile of DVDs in the cook. The hot tub was hot, an important attribute in a hot tub. It was clean and it was very easy to use. My only criticism of it being that there wasn't much cover around our hot tub, although this wouldn't be a problem in the summer when there are leaves on the trees. Craobh Haven is a small fishing village with a handful of beautiful houses, a general store and a pub. The village offers great walks and also on-season trips into the loch and beyond. More importantly, it offers a great central location to explore the stunning area and the surrounding islands. So, would I recommend Loch Shuna Lodges? Well, that is a resounding yes. And you can book them too by going to the host season's website and searching Shuna Lodges or Craobh Haven. Our first castle of the trip was Kerrera Castle, only 15 minutes drive from Craobh Haven. It was a small partial ruin that was free to enter, and after a small walk uphill from its free car park, allowed you to climb all the way to the top, which offered some fantastic views. On our way to the Nevis Range Resort, we stopped off at Castle Stalker, a quintessential viewpoint of the Scottish Highlands, and a location to the final scene in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Parking was free and easy at the nearby Castle Stalker View Cafe and Gift Shop, but if you park there, make sure you buy yourself a coffee and a cake, as the car park is for customers only. Then made our way to Fort William and the Nevis Range Resort, which sat next to it. There we caught a gondola 2,100 feet up the side of Isle Of Mull and emerged on a plateau where every angle of its view took our breath away. Well, that and the minus 20-degree wind chill. Although not the cheapest way to spend your time in the Highlands, you cannot knock its truly stunning vistas and generous accessibility. The dog was not a fan of the gondola.
Move, go in!
day we explored the lochside town of Oban. Although no bigger than a moderate-sized town, it represented a Highland metropolis in an otherwise sparsely populated area. Oban is home to McCaig's Tower, a monument built by a banker in 1897 to provide work for local stonemasons and make his family look more important than yours. Oban also provided a gateway to the plethora of surrounding islands, one of which was the Isle of Mull.
Go on, do a pose.
Our 50-minute journey took us to Craobh in Mull, where we began a loop around the island. Our first stop was the multiple drops of Eros waterfall inside Eros Park. Then we continue down the road to the beautiful Tobermory, which can provide further gateway to the Outer Hebrides. After a nice bakery lunch, we moved across the island to Calgary Beach. And then on to the B8073 Coast Road, which turned out to be one of the most stunning roads in the world. Another stop worth taking is at Eas Force Waterfall, a multi-drop fall which ends in a precarious cliff top. After which we completed our loop and jumped on the ferry back to Oban. The next day we hopped over to the Isle of Seil to catch a boat to a picturesque island off an island called Easdale. Are you following me? Easdale had a small village but no land vehicles at all. Everything on this island of Slate had to be moved onto it by boats from the nearby village of Ellenabach. For just a few quid you could spend a day on this magnificent Scottish wonder and visit its cafe and museum. At the right time of year, of course. Its hard-working boat crew must have gotten dizzy moving people back and forwards. Come here, good boy. After had what was the best fish and chips we've ever had in a place called the Oyster. No trip here should be without a taste from their warm hospitality. Headed down to Kewen Ferry where we saw our first and only otter in the wild. And cruised over to the Isle of Luing. An island of harsh slate cliffs and quarries and very little else. With the exception of a great walk past the cliffs and through the quarries at Colourpool, there wasn't really much else to write home about. It was good to tick it off, but it was more of a residential community than a visitor attraction. The next day we embarked on the Southern Island walking loop of Kerrera, a small island just outside Oban with a 7-mile path loop and a castle ruin well worth your attention. Signs of an impending tea garden kept us walking. Geelan Castle stood proudly on the side of a cliff facing out towards where Loch Linney met the open sea. Just be aware that you will have to exert some energy to reach her. After getting back on the main path, we were hit with a disaster. The tea garden was closed. End of the loop. A few cold and bitter miles later, we completed the loop and hopped back on the boat that took us back to the mainland and our cabin where both the hot tub and sauna awaited our frozen bones. And finally, the next day we set off for home, once again satisfied by the wonderful country of Scotland and its many hidden treasures. Thank you for joining us. Bon voyage.